Afternoon, Mr. Wolf's Music here. In light of my videos taking forever to be put out because I'm only covering holidays, and there's only so many holidays in a year, they're kind of few and far between. So I've decided to make videos covering the societies that I'm focusing on for the holidays. So I'm going to start with covering the class system of the Norse. The class system of the Norse were conversed of the Jarls, the Carls, and the Thralls. The Thralls were the slave class, the very bottom. They were taken as, during combat as slaves, or if you had a big debt to someone, you were decided to become a slave instead, in order to pay it off. You'd be like that until your master or owner decided to free you, or you just died, because the Thralls were not treated very good. They were slaves after all. The next one up were the Carls. The Carls were the working class, the pretty much common person. The majority of people you saw in for the Vikings and stuff were the Carls. They composed of just people who owned businesses, just your average Joe kind of guy. The cool thing is, with their society, though, is if you were a Carl, you could raise up to Jarl. The Jarls were like the nobility or the princes or dukes, but they weren't like noble through birth. There's very few times that occurred, and it's basically if your parents were heroes, then you were expected to be this great person, and you were treated like royalty. What would happen is most of the time, becoming a Jarl was chosen through popularity contests and who's richest. The Carls owned property and owned businesses, and if they made a lot of friends and had a good amount of money to support their claim, they could go up to the local Jarl and say, hey, I think I can run this crap better than you can. So, either the Jarl would say, you know, you're right, you can run this, and step down, or they would have a fight, and it would be an arranged fight. It would be legal compared to other times that would not be legal, but this one would be permitted. They'd fight to the death. The winner would be claimed Jarl. A lot of times the tradition would be for the new Jarl to kill off the family of the old Jarl, so no one comes back and seeks revenge. A lot of that did occur, but sometimes they were allowed to live. It's not common. That's pretty much how their society was broken up in these three groups. I'm thinking of doing next week covering the Shield Maidens. So, drop me a comment, let me know what you guys think, and ask me what you guys want me to cover for the Norse. I'll look it up and explain it. Alright, this is Mr. Wolf's Music out.